This part right here, which, oh my god, seems very different. And that is, wow, okay. Igora Drive, which you may have heard of or may not have heard of, was meant to be the venue replacing Sochi for the 2023 Russian Grand Prix. Obviously, for obvious reasons and justified reasons, that won't happen. But in this video, we're going to explore and see exactly what that would have looked like with F1 cars in a couple of years' time. So let's get into it. Let's do this. Hopefully, we can get through the first lap unscathed. Lights are on. And we're underway. Not a bad start. We almost get cut up there by the AlphaTauri as we head into turn one. I'm going to try and get the inside line. Let's try and survive this first corner, as I've had many an issue with the AI, as you can see. The Mercedes there driving back onto the racing line. Anyway, we'll brush over that as we're still alive, and we're up to P14. And now making our way into turns 2, 3 and 4. Now I have a rough idea where I'm going. I've done some testing, only about half a lap a couple of times. That's as far as I've gotten before I've been taken out in the outtakes. So yeah, I'd say from about this point onwards things start to get a little bit blurry. So we're going to be learning on the job here, and I'm on maximum difficulty. So let's see, for now we've got 0 tyre temp. So let's try and get through the first lap, and then we'll start to talk about the context and the layout and, you know, kind of everything surrounding the circuit and all the changes. So tucked in behind the Alfa Romeo here as we make our way downhill. We have this little back straight section, I believe to the left right there, that is the original layout, and this is now an extension they put in place for the F1 cars. And my god, this is very different. This is something that isn't on the calendar right now. The elevation change is insane. Fair enough, fair enough. This feels a bit of a Mickey Mouse section, like almost like a go-karting track for these cars. Not sure if it's ideal with another DRS zone here. This is the pit straight. This is where the old layout rejoined, and yeah, it's the pit straight. Okay, fair enough. So that's a lap of Igora Drive. Pretty, I'd say cool actually. I don't half mind it. There's a lot of runoff, which is interesting. Whether that would have been the case in real life, who knows? I know obviously F1 love their tarmac runoffs, but we have seen, you know, with Spa recently and Monza, they've kind of been trying to cut away from those a little bit. But yeah, right now just looking to get past the AlphaTauri here as we're starting to build up some tyre temp. So let's see, we're going to stick one up the inside into here, but the AlphaTauri holds on, in fairness. Definitely a very different track, and what I like about this is if you were to compare this to Sochi, this is 10 times better already. Like, the elevation change is actually bananas. It's insane how much more interesting the circuit is. Let's see, the AI seem to enjoy it, making the most out of the track limits. This corner right there reminds me of Kota, once you get out the S's and you plunge downhill. But yeah, we've got this new kind of straight. This feels very bumpy, not very enjoyable. The AI seems to do a better job than me in terms of getting through there. Just trying to make sure we don't lose the car really, but I love this elevation change. This is actually insane. Curbs are absolutely huge, by the way. You know, it's a very narrow circuit, but the curbs actually are almost like a massive extension of the circuit and the layout, which is very interesting. So yeah, now to lap 3, DRS enabled. We can start to hopefully talk about the layout if I can focus enough. So, yellow flag into turn 1. Let's get through this first as we have a moment. We've got 2 cars off. I'm just going to get past there and waste no time. Igora Drive was meant to be on the calendar in 2023, replacing Sochi. Obviously, we know exactly what happened in real life, which has put an end to all plans, and rightfully so, with of course the war. So we'll never see this actually race in F1, which is in a way obviously a shame, as if we're talking specifically in terms of, you know, racing and layout and race circuits, because look at this, man. I'm not sure how accurate this version is, but the elevation change is something else. I'm going to turn a blind eye to track limits and, you know, running a bit wide out of the curbs, just for the sake of the video to have a bit better action. But yeah, as I said before on the first lap, the extension they put in place, I believe was, or I don't know if it's actually already done or not, but it was meant to be for F1. So the original circuit, which this mod does feature, goes to the left there, and that's the final corner. Instead, we now go up to this uphill section as we have a huge moment there. You can see everyone just skating with the bumps. So we're going to turn a blind eye as we take out, I think that was Sebastian Vettel. I'm so sorry, Seb, mate. It's really hard to control the car with all these bumps. But I do actually like this, to be fair. This is a very unique circuit, very different. Nothing like this in the calendar I can think of off the top of my head. It's got a bit of everything, but the key thing is it's a lot better than Sochi, especially because there's some elevation change, whereas Sochi is literally the flattest circuit, you know, I think we ever knew in F1. I don't think there's many more, you know, bland circuits than Sochi in terms of elevation change. The layout was fine. Never really had an issue with it, but it just had no character besides, you know, 90-degree corners. As we get the run on the Alpines here, we're going to stick one up the inside. We seem to like this overtake a little bit. As we move into P4. Right, now we're going to get some laps in clean air, so we'll get to really explore the layout as we have a moment. See exactly what this is saying. We've got decent tyre temp, so we can afford to experiment and, you know, try some different lines. So what we'll do is, next lap around, we'll let you guys enjoy some engine sounds and see what a lap would look like. At the minute though, I'd probably have like a 12-second time penalty right now, as I've not stuck to any of the track limits. That corner is a problem. I've got no confidence turning the car through there. There's a horrible bump right on the entry, which just stops me from turning the car completely. So we lose 3 places yet again to the Alpines and also one of the Haas cars. Let's try and make some moves here with engine sound. Just can't do it. That corner is a problem. It's really, really unsettling. My goodness me. Well, we're going to be struggling through that for the remaining laps of this race. So yeah, we're going to have to get past the Alpines and the Haas cars for the 3rd time. Anyway, let me see if I can relate, you know, some of these corners to, you know, a few of the circuits I can think of off the top of my head. So turn 1, turn 2 is very much just 90-degree corners. It kind of reminds me of, you know, Sochi in many ways. Not a lot to it. There's a part of the track which I mentioned before, that downhill left reminds me of Kota. I'll mention now when we go through it next time around. But yeah, this feels different so far. This feels unique. This kind of almost reminds me of Zolder. If you guys have raced that circuit in Belgium, this kind of first part of the lap kind of gives me Zolder vibes up until this point. Then it does just go into this very narrow section, which is very unique for this circuit, which I quite like. Again, with the elevation change and the big curbs for the runoff. Then this, for some reason, screams Kyalami for some reason. Turn 1, 2, 3, this section, which I also really like. And then this next bit reminds me of Korea. So we've got that fast left just now we went through. And then this would be the kind of next fast left, which feeds into a right hairpin. So yeah, this entire section just reminds me of like those 3 circuits, and then this bit right here reminds me of the Circuit America. So you get through the S's and then you head through that downhill left, which, you know, then heads into the hairpin. So many elements of this circuit remind me of, you know, other different circuits, which I quite like. Can we survive a lap? Yes, we can. We've got a car. up in the skies. Aston Martin flying, so I'm glad I'm not the only one who's struggling through there. This is very unique, but this is like a go-karting circuit. This doesn't really remind me of anything, to be honest with you. Just about trying to survive and get the car rotated and turned. But yeah, 3 laps to go. Let's try and get back into that P4. Right, getting the run on this AlphaTauri. Might be able to stick and move down the inside. Not quite. May get a second chance through here. Oh god, that's a bit wide. Still will let it run. Like I said, I'm turning a bit of a blind eye to the track limits, as we're all kind of exploring our own version of this racetrack. As you can see up ahead, exactly what I mean. Right, DRS zone coming up. There we go. We're going to go into a move into the trickiest corner. Dare I say, if this was actually an F1, it'd probably be the trickiest corner of the entire, season. That bump just isn't fun. That tartar line seemed to work quite well though. Gonna try and stick one right on the outside of the Alfa Romeo here. Can we make this work? Oh yes we can. Just about. That is a very Mickey Mouse section though, I'll be absolutely honest. 2 laps to go. Getting the run on the Haas here. Trying to break the slipstream, but we're gonna get the run down the inside. Oh my god. Rear lock. I was trying to avoid the Alpine and it completely backfired. Let's get back underway. We're still finishing the points. That's just a set of course for you though. I do actually like the circuit. Shame we're not going to see it because it's very different, very unique. Not sure if these cars would race as well as this in real life in terms of being able to follow and stuff, because it's a very narrow circuit for some very large vehicles, but it would be a lot of fun as we see an Aston Martin get out of shape up ahead, and there's the AlphaTauri getting out of shape, so we're going to try and slip by it. There it is. Trying to recover these places, man, and get back up the order. Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo side by side. It's a nasty bump there as well, but I've managed to find a way to get around that one. Side by side with Bottas for the second lap in a row through here. I'm going to try and commit with a bit more speed. Oh my god, no! Oh, I got another spin. It's so tricky, man. It's such a tough circuit to get right. It bites, and it bites a lot. Alright, last lap. Trying to fight back now as much as possible. And give it everything before the race ends. Definitely got to try and use those inside curbs. They seem to really make a difference. Whoa! Snap. Oh, disaster, man. Oh, I give up. This track just bites so hard, man. Every corner has a horrible bump in it. I think if this was obviously a better quality circuit or a mod, I think we'd see a lot better, but still. Tyres absolutely fried. Last lap of the race. I was trying to get one clean push lap in, but this wasn't to be. And we're not going to catch anybody in this last part of the lap, so yeah, let's just try and bring this home in P11. The tight line seems to be the way to go, but then, yeah, carrying way too much speed through there, which doesn't help. Let's try and finish this. I'd love to know if this is actually like this, because if it is, this is so different to anything I've ever raced before. Anyway, there we go, through the final corner, job done. And that is Igora Drive. I've got to say, with all the spins and all the innocence, very impressed. A challenging circuit, which in many ways that's what Sochi wasn't, so there we go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. I'm keen to hear what you think. I think it's a shame we're not racing here, but obviously I understand why. But as we're talking specifically racing and circuits, this is a banger. Absolute banger. I like how I still spun the car my in lap when I was just cruising. Oh god. Well, there we have it then. That is it for this race and this video. I'll leave a link down below to the car, the skin, and also the circuit. Go check them out, guys. The link down below. But if you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. Let's try and smash over 1,000 likes. Share the video and let me know what you think. But yeah, that was Igora Drive. I think this circuit, if it was laser scanned, it would be absolutely insane, and I'd love to see, you know, maybe in the future we might race here one day, who knows, but it's a shame because as a circuit, it's so unique, and we're never going to see it, but still, it is what it is. Hopefully you enjoy, guys. Like I said, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. As always, a big shout out to the members for supporting the channel and the videos and the content. As always, check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care, and that's goodbye from me.